Happy day, YouTube family. This is Stocks with Crypto Josh because I'm going to cover Polygon Matic again. I told you guys in my last video that we were very likely going to see it rise up to $1 and then it was going to hit resistance. And that's exactly what it did. So how did I know that? I knew that by understanding support and resistance in charting. Because we hit $1, I want to go back into the charts and look at what the next support level will be. And when I say support, what I'm saying is, where's the next buy price on a pullback? And when I say resistance, I'm saying, where's the next sell price or take profit price? I'm going to give you a new upside price target, as well as where I think the stock is going to go moving forward. I'm also going to cover in this video an overview of what the Disney affiliation means for Polygon. And again, at the very end of the video, I'm going to talk about how I'm handling my Polygon long-term investment strategy, and I'm also going to go deeper into my price predictions. Okay, before we begin, don't forget to hit that like for me, family, and remember, anything I say is for educational purposes. I'm not telling you guys what to buy or sell. And there's people using my picture and my name impersonating me in my comment section, asking you guys to reach out to them on WhatsApp, Instagram, or Telegram. Be aware, it's not me. Those are scammers. The goal of my page is to take complicated stock, crypto, trading topics, as well as trending news stories and break them down into super easy to understand language to make trading accessible for everyone and anyone. If that's you, then hit that subscribe and the notification bell. So if you guys want questions asked, go ahead and ask me in the comment section. I do my very best to answer them, and they also help me to determine future videos. One of you's repeatedly asked me to talk about Crow every single video, and I'm still working on my top 10 small cap crypto picks to invest in during the bear winter. I'm going to cover Crow at that time, so I appreciate your patience. First off, we have to acknowledge the crypto relief rally that we've been in. Over the last 7 days, the total market cap inflows, money coming back into crypto, have totaled about $100 billion. This has been leading to a move back for all of crypto, back to over $1 trillion. We fell below $1 trillion around June 13th. So let's talk about Polygon's move and their Disney affiliation. Polygon joined Disney's accelerator program to develop AR, NFTs, and AI experiences with the goal of creating new storytelling experiences. The AR stands for augmented reality. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. I know you guys have heard that term before, but let me just clarify something. Let's break down what non-fungible token means. The key word is the fungible word. So cash and crypto are fungible. Fungible means you can exchange it. So for example, if you had $1 and I had $1 and we switched them, there'd be no loss of value. You and I would both have the exact same thing after we traded the dollar. So, and there's no change in value. So when the term fungible is used, it means that the underlying asset is unique. It's a one of a kind. So if I had an NFT and you had an NFT, we couldn't just swap them and have the same value. That's basically what the term NFT is trying to convey. And you guys have heard it said, it's basically digital art. And so that's one of the categories they're in. The third category is AI, which is artificial intelligence. All three of these are pointing ahead to Disney's venture into all things metaverse. Let me just take a minute and break down my thoughts on the metaverse. I just want to make it very clear. From my point of view, we are extremely early in the metaverse. The companies that exist like Sand and Mana, they don't really have the significant lead that a lot of people imagine them to have. Now, I just want to be clear. I have made a ton of money specifically on Mana. I first started buying Mana at 20 cents and it ran up and it was one of my first exciting, super profitable crypto plays. And I eventually sold that. And then again, when Facebook talked about turning their name into Meta, I just knew that crypto was going to take off. So I went back and I started putting in big bucks. And again, it popped for me and I made really a small fortune. But having said that, when I've looked deeply into Sand and Mana, they really just don't have the users. They don't have millions of people in those environments daily. They've got thousands, right? And I spent some time in those environments, and I didn't find anything particularly unique, fun, or cool, or any reason for me to go back and spend more time there. I think right now these guys are the very early adapters, but there's been no metaverse that is standing out to me right now as the go-to metaverse. So I just want to be clear. I think Disney, the biggest potential that Disney has ahead for their entire company, I personally believe, is in the metaverse. I think they could kill it with all the brands like Star Wars and Marvel that they own, all of the characters. It's just built for the imagination of the metaverse. And so when these guys eventually get into it, it's going to be huge. Right now, in my opinion, them working with Polygon is just them dipping their toe into the water. It is the slightest move. It's very positive for Polygon, but I want to use this as a moment to kind of pull back some of that super excitement that goes around the hype on crypto. It does not mean, that Polygon is going to the moon. It is a great indicator that Polygon is positioned well, but we're still in a risk-on environment. You guys know what I do with my crypto. I have been buying. I haven't made a single video about crypto where I've not encouraged people to buy in the bear winter. And I've said, even if Bitcoin dropped from 20K to 14K, I said to you guys I would be buying, and I said it doesn't make sense for people not to be buying during this time. And right now we're seeing a great pop in it all. But so I just want you to understand that despite all the hype surrounding Disney and Polygon's connection, we still have to go back to the charts, and we still have to look at where the bag holders are, where all the people that have bought it up at, up above $2, where they're going to begin to want to sell and get out of their position. You've got to be willing to look at charts and recognize the difference between a local price move and a long-term price move. And I'm going to do that with you guys. So let's just take a quick minute to jump into the charts right now. Looking at the one-day chart, which means that each of these candles represents a single day in the market. Obviously, yesterday was just the last 2 days have been monumental. I want to point out these areas of support and resistance. So we had this line over here is an area where we were slowly building support. We had this flag pendant shape, and we were moving. We came down into it. This was support, and then we began to bounce through it, right? Slowly making a higher low, until eventually we got to this long-standing area of resistance. So this had come down and it had buffed up against this area a number of times, and it didn't break out. So we knew that when we got a breakout, which was on this day right here, we knew that that was going to lead to a much stronger move up. I want to point out that always these breakouts, you have to wait until they come back and back test what had previously been resistance. And you see that this candle right here did that. It came up, but it also came down and it touched that line of resistance, and then it broke out, right? So let's talk about why I knew this was going to be an area of resistance, the dollar area. And you've got to go back and look at more of the historical price of the crypto. So back here, this area of resistance coincided with this previous area of support. So places that had previously been support, they often become resistance, and that's exactly what happened here. This had once been support, and then over here it became resistance. So when it broke out, then you have to begin to look at the levels. So when this originally broke out back here, it came down and tested. It found support on this $1 area a number of times. It briefly broke through that. It found support around 60 cents, which is why I've mentioned to you guys that a much stronger level of support in the bear winter is that 55 to 58, because that's confirmed right here, okay? And it came back up, and it then continued to find support on the dollar until it moved up, right? And after it had moved up, when it came back, it again found support on the dollar. And what you guys need to know is that this entire block of buys up here, this was all purchased above $1. So unless all of these buyers sold, when this price comes back up to this zone, what used to be this support level was $1, a lot of these people, where they had bought in at support, they're now waiting to get out and to unravel their negative position, their bag holding, and they're going to sell. That's how I knew that when it came up to $1, it wasn't just going to blast right through, okay? And so let's talk about where the next level of support is going to be. So after $1, one of the other more long-standing levels of support was around $1.27, okay? So that's these zones. We trade zones, okay? $1.27, $1.60. And I also referenced in my last video the idea of it coming back to 30 cents. That's this bottom zone. Some people might say, well, that's ridiculous. But look at it. It came down here. It was here for a long time, okay? And ultimately, when it broke down in this recent breakdown, it came back here. So the idea that it will never come back here, that's naive. You want to keep into consideration the opportunity of picking some up, especially if you've got a long-term goal at that 30-cent mark. You know that the majority of your buying should really try to be around the 60-cent mark. And you have to understand that it's at the top of the scale, $1 and $1.29, okay? I mean, guys, I've said this repeatedly on this channel. You have to have the right buy strategy so that you can ultimately have the right sell strategy. If you're getting caught up in the great news surrounding Polygon, their Disney affiliation, the applications that are coming over from Terra Luna, you know, that's going to drive us up. And we're going to take a minute to see, okay, where could that ultimately drive us up? And how do we know where our next support is? Okay, because we don't want to miss out altogether. So this 50-day moving average, it's 10, 20, this is actually the 100-day moving average. We broke the 50, which is the blue. This 100-day moving average is very likely going to be one of the next supports that we see, okay? So I'm expecting as these moving averages cross each other, they tend to curl up. So let's just imagine it curled up. So when this comes back, it would not shock me if it comes back and bounces off of this 100-day moving average. In addition to that, I'm pointing out to you guys that we developed a trend line. So a lot of cryptos, if we go back here, look at this trend line. See, that trend line worked for a long time. When it hit this 60-cent range, we bounced up, we ultimately came back, and we bounced off this trend line. We came up, we came back, the trend line held, we went and made our very top. It came back, and when it broke, we knew that that run was over, and that led to all of this downfall. So let's just identify that we do have a developing trend line. It's right here, okay? I'm cleaning up my chart for you guys so that visually you can follow along. This is our new trend line. So if we are moving forward into a new Polygon run-up, okay, we're going to watch it and see that it follows this trend line. If we get a break out of the trend line, then it's time to sell. It's time to, sometimes it'll break slightly and it'll come back and it'll close that day back over top the trend line. So you just don't automatically sell if it breaks. But if it breaks and closes below the trend line, then you need to realize that it is likely starting a new trend moving down. So I just want to be super clear. I see the greatest long-standing support at the 60 cents. I see that we're going to have, if we break above $1, then it could continue to be a support moving forward where we could consolidate and come back and bounce off of this trend line. But we're going to be watching it closely to see if we break below any of these moving averages, break below these trend lines, which I'm describing. If we break below 55 cents, we're likely to go to 30. I'm buying this. I'm buying these areas of support. And when we go lower, that's when I double my weekly purchases. So that's a quick overview of the charts. Remember that the top area of resistance that we're going to see is $1.29. And you have to remember that all these people that bought over here are the ones who create that sell pressure at $1.29. So don't get too hyped up too early. I want you to be looking at, in my mind, sober pricing and long-term trading here, right? Accumulate at these lower price ranges to ultimately sell at the high price range when we go into the next bull run. So that's it on the charting. So where have I been buying and selling? Well, as you know, I've been very consistent in advising any of my followers that I am buying weekly, my top coins. I've covered those in other videos. Polygon is a weekly buy. I'm not swing trading it. It is part of a long-term crypto strategy to accumulate in the bear winter and to take profits at the top of the next coming bull market. You know, I've seen a lot of influencers say they're not buying during this period because everything might go down more. You know, I have repeatedly said that that is not my philosophy. I think that you have to buy the whole crypto winter. And that's basically what in the market is referred to as accumulation. That's how you get the life-changing money. On this channel, I have provided trade setups on crypto and stocks. If you're only into crypto, you're missing out. Crypto shouldn't be 100% of your long-term investments. If you want to grow your ability to invest, you need to learn both stocks and crypto, as well as understanding how the economy is moved and goes up and down, especially as it relates to easing and tightening. The retail crowd comes into the market typically at the wrong times. They enter when all the news is bullish, they leave when all the news is bearish. They're never accumulating when the smart money is accumulating. You need to buy at the right price, then you have a lot of upside potential ahead of you. If you don't have a stock exchange, I'm currently using moomoo. We're doing the small account challenge on Verb stock. My very next video is going to be about Verb, what I see in the charts. I think it's critical for us to be looking at here in the next couple days. The goal of the small account challenge is to move $200 to $400. If you want to join us, then you can click on the link in the description of this video, sign up for moomoo, and you can follow along. We're using moomoo because of their full 16 hours of extended trading, which they give to the retail community, and their 8 conditional order types, which are going to become even more relevant as we move ahead, like trailing stop and market if touched. In addition, they're offering more than other exchanges to their new customers, like 6 free stock for opening and funding an account, and a chance to win up to 10 free stock if you participate in all of their promotions. There's also a link for Webull. I do my fractional share of value stock investing on that platform. Okay, let's have a deeper conversation about the price prediction for Polygon after 2024. I gave you guys a price of $4, and I want to break that down. This is my conservative price target. This is where I intend to take profit, okay? But I'm looking at it from a big picture. I'm not going to get to $4 and just sell. What it is it's my target profit. The way that will play out is via a trailing stop, because Polygon could easily 10x and hit $10 to $12 if they continue to perform the way that they have been performing. That's what I refer to as sort of that slingshot, moving them ahead. And that's going to cause people to immediately reevaluate where their total market cap should be. My average Polygon price is currently below 50 cents, and I'm going to continue to do my weekly buys. We've looked at historic support, and if it gets down to those levels, that's when I double my weekly buys. If we were to get all the way down to the 30-cent range, then I'm definitely going to drop a bag on that lower price, so I can cut my overall price down even more. If you were to buy a minimum of $1,000 of Polygon Matic and your average price was 50 cents and it were to run up to that $10 mark in the next bull run, then that's $20,000. That's pretty good money. But the key to that strategy is buying at the best price. This thing will cool down. It will come back, right? So we have to be patient. You know my plan. I've been averaging into these great projects. I've shared all that with you. If you guys don't want to miss out on my next crypto or stock overview, then hit that subscribe and the notification bell. And as always, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Have a great day.